Okay, so when you receive your transportation package, it's on the 4 foot by 8 foot pallet. We've taken it off the pallet and kind of laid the parts out to show you what they are. We have our wiring harness for the lights, rear tail lights, side marker lights, our rear outrigger with Jackson hardware, our front outrigger with Jackson hardware. This is our frame union support here. Now on current models, we have a support here to put a leveling jack. In the future, we're going to be taking this off, so it'll just be a frame support to support the jack. So yours will either have it or not have it. We have our tongue and the hardware, and if you're adding this to an existing mill that you have, you may need a 9/16 drill bit to re-drill these holes out right here for your tongue. There's two on this side, two on this side, two on that side, two on that side. So you'll need that to drill those out. Back here is our axle assembly, and we ship it to you with the fenders mounted, the axle mounted, and your jacks mounted to it as well. So now what we have to do is get back in here and make sure we take out our 4 leveling feet from each center section, and then we'll be right back. Make sure the body of the outrigger meets the bottom of the frame. And then mount our hardware. Start with the little nut. That's good there. Let me get my impact driver. Okay, do the big nut too to lock and jam them in place. I just do them all the way with the, so just hit that right there. Doesn't work with tape. There you go. Okay, let's go mount the rear end. Just like the first one, we want the body of the outrigger underneath the body of the frame. Line it up with your bolt holes here. Small jam nut first. Then your big nut, so you can hit that all the way on with the thing, it'll tighten it up real fast. Okay, so we lifted up this end so we can mount our jacks. We already got the front outrigger mounted. So put the jack on. Got this jack on. Go ahead and lower that out of the way. We'll come back and do the rear side. All right. Now, making things a little easier here, I like to go ahead and crank these up about 10 cranks or so. Kind of raising the frame up so get our working height a little easier. It's probably a lot more than 10, but get the frame up there pretty good. Okay, so we're removing the leveling feet so we can mount your center frame support. To do this, we got to break these loose, break these two nuts off, take them off. Now you're not going to need these anymore. And then you loosen this, break it free, then you take this all the way off. So it's kind of time consuming getting that off of there. And after you get this off all the way completely out, repeat that 3 more times here and then 4 times down there. Now we're going to mount the tongue. Since we're mounting this to an existing mill, we had to pre-drill the holes out to 9/16. It makes this assembly of putting the bolts in a little easier to do. Let's see. Look at that. That makes life 100 times easier. Now, it's probably that same big wrench we were using before. Our parts pile is dwindling. We got the front outrigger, the rear outrigger mounted. We got the tongue mounted. Now we're going to mount our center union support in our section we have right there. Okay, now we're going to mount the center union support. Make sure that the angle brackets are pointed up on the sides here. Now you can put your jack on sideways there, Jason. And then when you pick it up, it'll fall in place. Yeah, I can't get my pen in now. Now crank this up and kind of go this way a little bit there.
You want to describe lining up the holes here?
Yeah, so what we're doing here now is we're raising this up so we can line up our 4 holes so we can mount the bolts to it. And, okay, so use a bolt with a washer on the bottom up through the bottom hole, put your lock nut on and your nut in place, and just loosely fit it until we get all 4 on, then we'll tighten them all on at once. Okay. All right, so Jason's got the frame lifted up. I'm going to go ahead and wheel our assembly in over here. And we just want to make sure he's high enough. He is a little bit higher. There you go. Now, down. Keep going. So now it's going to drop down the frame. It's going to pop that up in place. Then I'm going to drop these jacks to kind of help hold it too. There you go. We'll use the jack. Perfect. There you go. Perfect. So now the weight kind of positioned it in the right place. Get my jacks in place here. Now you notice we took the fenders off prior to putting these on. You should do that because otherwise you're going to bang your fingers on the deals. Jason gets his off to line these holes up. Raise them up. Up. You use the tires to roll it forward, position it. All right, we got that tightened up. Now you can put your fender assemblies back on. We can loosen these jacks up and kind of put them in the travel position. We can probably leave those alone. Now the back ones, we want to set those so they got pressure on the ground. So when we set the saw head on, it doesn't want to teeter back on us. There you go. So now we're ready to put the saw head on. Okay, now we're going to install the carriage hold down pins and bolts. Slide these into the frame here. Slide your pin in place. Put your safety pin on there. There you go. Bring the saw head back so we can line up our hold down part with the bolt. You need to mount your water tank bracket. Now some of you, we may have already done this for you, but if you're putting this on aftermarket, you'll have to do this yourself. What we've done is we lined up the holes and we drilled 2 3/8 holes. And we'll set these up on here. Jason will put the hardware in place. Now, after that's mounted, you want to take your upper bracket and cut that off with an angle grinder. Now we're going to snake the wires through the frame. I have a long piece of pipe all taped together and everything. You can get some PVC pipe and join pieces together in order to get it all the way through the frame. So we're going to mount your front side marker lights. So we're going to take the hardware off here. And your lights come to you with already the male-female plugs on them. The wire already has the male-female plugs. Works better if you put the lights on the outside. They're easier to see. What I like to do before I mount the lights is I like to take a drill bit and get some of the paint off to get down to the bare metal, so when we put the lights on, they ground easier. Now it's just kind of pulled in tight. We're going to mount some tie straps, kind of keep everything up off the, keep it together here real well. I'll put those on tight, and then I'll take a pair of dikes and cut the end pieces off. Okay, then we'll go around the front, wire those. All right, so we're finished assembling the transportation package for your 1220. It stays permanently mounted with your 8 leveling jacks. In the future, we're going to build these without the leveling jacks on these here. And these 2 jacks right here are going to be moved to the center of this frame. So this assembly has 8. The new assemblies will have 6. Let's see, that's good. Cut that out, and then I'll talk about leveling it again. All right, now when you get to your job site, disconnect from your truck. Use your front outriggers to get the tongue off the ball. Level the mill from side to side. Go to the back, level it side to side. Level it front to back using those 4-corner jacks. Make sure that your jacks raise up high enough that they relieve the pressure off the axle, or the tires are actually off the ground. Then sight down the rail. Drop your center jacks down, whether it be these 2 or one in the center here, and take the frame, if it's concave, is that right? And then make it go up level by putting more pressure on it. And then you're ready to start cutting lumber.